Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and today we're going to do the holistic, and it is for the next week coming. It is November 24th through the 30th, and all you need to know is that everything is still running amok to the current date and time, which is the 20th. And God bless our souls because we just can't even get a run in. So when we actually say that, that means all is a bust, all is everything dictated out to our schedules to the time that we have to go to the bathroom, to the time that we have to eat, because it is absolutely imperative down to a millisecond that we get to everything, down to everything. So as far as a DEA force goes, there's just none to be a will to be at bay. You can't even talk about the LGBTQ plus community at all without being ranked on, without being scolded, without even anything. Everything is one. It is just it. As they appear, that is it. So, with that being said, that makes it really difficult. And that is where some people are having a hard time with a lot of things. And then everything goes on. So, when this absolutely goes on, you have to say what is true and what is now out about transgenderism. So that is what's on the table for the next week because there's still something about the DEA. There's still something about the DPH that just is not settling right, especially with the way that the protocols and the policies and procedures are still coming out in a way where we can't get it done, DUNE. So with that being said, you have to say everything is known. So when everything is known, we have to say what is true and what is not without breaking the glass if you use Epic or facing the drive if you use any other of those things and without prying because we're trying to do the best. It actually boils down to of not having it known. So when it comes to policy and procedure, does it reflect these rights for this community? And as I say it as a psychic and someone who actually does know the medical community, it is yes. What is known? Failure to follow policy and procedure and protocol. That is all it is. When you bring your personal bias in, it affects everyone to everything to daily processes. And that is the fight that I call beknownst. It is known. So when you actually see this, there's something of prudency. It's something well thought out. It's the Nine of Pentacles, and you can't get anything done whatsoever. And it's just like, what is this going? Because this is actually where it is. So when you see the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, you have to say, all is a must. There's no skill work in it. Just walk into the room and say, "Hi, how are you?" And that's all you need to know. Now, there's a type of communication that comes in. Is it actually true that it should be anything of this? Because from what I remember of it, it really is a curse to be transgender. It really is hard. But I do have to agree the policy and procedure to actually go through the mental health counseling to lab work to make sure everything is good. And then we're faced with actual end. They just want to make sure like they have nobody impeding their body, that they are of themselves. That is the witchery. That is the trickery. That is the hidden motive per se. But you can't even do anything correctly because there's no foresight in it. And that is where it's driving everyone nuts. So here we have a community that wants to come through with it. And then we have the DEA, and then we have the DPH, and then we have up to Capitol Hill, all states where you can't even say anything about recklessness. Because the Three of Swords in reverse means it actually hurts to say that it is a curse because they're all proud. I think you need to understand actual history, especially when it comes to the Brunson case. Look it up. It's actually open. You look at the Brunson case. So let's look at this as a point in case. So the 501s is an alleviation of struggle. There's no paperwork or anything of that nature, but you can't get anything done. So when I actually see it and I try to push forward, I have to say, there's no ends on that, but there is truly something of that. It's not outward to be someone who is a true transgender, who is maybe stuck in their body, but there is study, and it came through the Brunson case. You just have to be prudent when you look into it. You got to be hyper vigilant, and that's what it actually came through as. That's the Nine of Wands upright. The Four of Pentacles means there is some sort of like a need and a must when you look at that case to look at everything correctly because you have to secure everything. There's something about someone sitting pretty with loyalty and royalty looks at everything. And I don't mean a king and queen, I mean royal blood. And royal blood actually means true true self. There's something still studied in science about what is royal, clean blood of that person. That means that blood is of that person only, no transfusions. That is where actually sitting proudly, and this is the Emperor card, comes in and says, what about this? What about this? Because when you sit with the King of Cups and you say they are highly balanced, it is meditative state. The world is a completion out of a well-known. The Knight of Swords says it comes in quickly with haste to cut it out. Don't talk about it. Don't do it. But let's dig a little deeper about Brunson. Why do we need to know about it for the holistic community, which is, as I repeat myself, because you might be new to the video, it is the DPH, it is the CDC, it is the DEA, it is all those entities that are dictating everything. It really is a victory next week for a lot of these things, even if it's not in the media. So, with that being said, the Brunson case is going to go straight to the literary witch's oracle. All right. So, with this, there's a sense of belonging about this Brunson case. There's something about it in history, and I see 1934 and 1922. Because when I see the creature's paw, there is a type of playfulness in this society. It is something of nostalgia, and it brings me back to the vision of Bonnie and Clyde. Because when I'm seeing the braid, I don't see peyote. I do see Peyton. I do see uh, a Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote and Acme Box of the lore. That's the chicken. That's the mystery. Because I see the knife and I do see the cutout of a wit fun about it. But when this playfulness nature comes in with a hedgehog, it is a playful go about and know about and see about another day because you can't even do anything. This has to do with anatomy and physiology of those who are truly stuck in their body, who look male or female, but their soul is a male or female, different of their anatomy and physiology. That is something to be concerned about if you're a doctor and a nurse or a CNA or any of those disciplines because they react off and different to the highest degree of regard. So when they are truly transgender, they actually are off. They're in the off position. And then when they see something, it is usually a flip glip, but it's something with the pupils that you will notice. And it's not scary and they're not intoxicated. It's like an eyes light up to an eyes wide shut. They truly look through your soul to know if you're true or not. Identity. And I don't really show that card, and that's Angela Carter because it is a little graphic. Like I said, this oracle is graphic. It is what their identity is. Their true identity is usually always a mystery of what their soul is. They're not always outward. But perspective, they will change and make you flip your switch on everything. So when I see this, I say, this is like Edgar Allan Poe and Walden Pond of getting it DUM. Flannery O'Connor means they are usually just instinctive and intuitive, not always psychic, because they go into hyperdrive and overdrive. It is in old books if you look it up. It is a fortress of none, None. This is where they come out and sting. They're usually the last to come out and do a sting on you because they know it and they knew it already. So when the spider comes out in this card and you go about it and you want to light a cigarette and have some whiskey or bourbon and just watch it play out, they stand up and say, no, I'm going out and I am going home because they need to sit with their family and regenerate. And regenerate is just heal themselves. And when I say heal, that means they're actually restraining themselves properly. It usually is something hidden in the dark. Now, when it comes to the point of that, and that was just a glip of the Brunson case, that was all it was. It was an offering of flowers per se when you see it, but you can't even do it when you drink milk. It's so disgusting what they had found. That's where true bravery came in. So when I see this rabbit, the high frequency and hertz and the vibration of what came out of that case that affects the DEA today, as I see as a psychic, is so unprofound, you actually have loss. Now, with that being said, let's look at a couple other tarot. First is the Light Seers Tarot. All right. The Page of Pentacles goes like this. It is a type of offering. And when I do that, I'm saying, get out of here right now. Just get out of here right now. You can't even deal with it. When you see this, you can't even see it enough. The misogyny came through on that case of a lack and a loss of inheritance that the Ten of Wands in reverse shows. There was something wrong with that. So, as myself, when I was a nurse in the community, if I saw a loss of something, a lack of something, I literally would see it in their face first and their eyes, and then their body language, then the habit of not taking their medication as prescribed, even though they were on the track of their care plan. So when I see they are monetary balance per se and sitting well, there's no celebration or getting together. There was no logic. All of a sudden, it's notes to be had. So when I look at it at a care plan or a due date to have everything in, especially admissions and discharges and transfers and anything of that, there's no common sense whatsoever. You're racking your brain. That is where the true lament comes in, the anxiety, the sorrow, when that case came in through. So when the Seven of Cups comes in, there's no grandiose. There's no anything about this. That's all you need to see. No logic in that case. It makes no sense. Makes no sense and makes no sense. So when I see this, the Knight of Swords in reverse, it is a don't even go there. Don't even go there with this case right now, which is it should be. Just don't even go there with this case right now. All right, Tarot is Sacred Kingdoms. What do they need to know? What do they need to know for next week? This crew, the holistic crew. All right, the Seven of Swords in reverse. There's no steal, but there's a steal. There's no rising. The Five of Swords, there's some sort of disappointment. But really, the Three of Pentacles, there's no teamwork. It's still kind of a go about. Still nothing. We're still kind of searching for this breakthrough where we get some rest, that it's so hard to actually be adherent to something that's policy and procedure. The Knight of Wands comes in and says, no, don't do an about. Just stick to your routine by yourself as a nurse. When it's time to come together or any other medical professional to collaborate with that patient, that's all you need to know. That is not a selling oneself, but it's an upset. That's the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. There wants to be this type of collaboration that I see really cannot happen just yet. There's still a lot of paperwork and blocks, and they want to make sure everything's all tied up. So when I see the Hierophant and a patient in CCU arguing, saying that they're dictative because they put their posy on again, I have to say the Nine of Cups in reverse means yes, true. True. Yep. Yep. Because the Two of Swords goes, you can't even do this with the Two of Swords. It is too funny. Then they say, I am going to divorce you. I'm separating myself. You are no longer my nurse. I did not even know I was married to you. When the Queen of Cups comes through, you say, I can't even sue you enough on that comment. So when I actually say Susie Q gave the runaround Sue to be the QT pie of the lie, you have to sit and as they chart, see how they respond. Because the picture that's viral of a nurse who came home from her unit, sitting, staring as she's eating a burger, tells you everything of how that nurse's night went. It literally means she's letting loose everything that no longer serves her at that moment. She's putting work back exactly where it needs to be. That is not evil empress. That is not toxic female energy whatsoever. It is none of it. The Six of Pentacles says there's no offerings, there's no deals right now because the Ten of Wands says go about it in a way unknown because the velocity and the security come through announced and unannounced. It really, truly is an honor to meet people in a way that is unsure, but let me tell you, they will put you in your place. So, with that, I feel like there is still a little bit more of a dig. Towards that end of the week, it goes about it. I do see conversations. I do see glimpses and glimpses. I do see everything going in a way that it should, but really it's not. And that's all you need to know. So, with that being said, keep at your principles and your morals and your ethics and just stay in your lane. Don't bring your bias in next week about anything. Just look at them as someone who is sick and tired and needs care. And that's all you need to know. With that being said, we will have another conversation probably about this in another week or two. That's what I feel is coming out. And especially with the incident with Lake and Riley, there's something about Lake and Riley that we still need to talk about. But with that being said, once it comes through, that's when it will do. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.